Hello everyone, today we would like to present about Apple Inc. and its organizational behavior practices. Apple is one of the most successful and influential technologies companies in the world. The company is well known for its innovative products such as iPhone, iPad, MacBook, and Apple Watch. Apple was founded in 1976 by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Since then, Apple has continued to grow and become a global leader in the technology industry. The company focuses on innovation, high product quality, teamwork, and customer satisfaction. Apple's mission is to provide the best user experience through innovative hardware, software, and service. The company also practices a functional organizational structure where employees are grouped according to their expertise, such as engineering, marketing, and product design. Our group selected Apple because it demonstrates strong organizational behavior practices, especially in leadership, teamwork, innovation, and organizational culture. Therefore, Apple is very suitable company for the assignment and presentation.
Next, I will present about team dynamic in Apple. Apple use a functional organizational structure where employees are grouped based on their expertise such as engineering, marketing, operation, and industrial design. The company also formed cross-functional teams for products like iPhone, iPad, and MacBook to improve creativity and product quality. Besides that, Apple use more specialized team and strong leadership to improve communication, accountability, and productivity. Managers supervise projects and guide employees effectively. To manage team dynamic, Apple encourages communication, collaboration, innovation, and teamwork through meeting, discussion, and feedback sharing. Apple also provides training and leadership opportunities to motivate employees. Based on Tuckman team development model, Apple teams go through forming, storming, norming, and performing stage before becoming effective teams. In conclusion, effective team dynamic help Apple maintain innovation, high performance, and global competitiveness.
Now I'm going to talk about organizational behavior, authority versus power. To look at this in action, we have to look at Apple CEO Tim Cook. Now authority is what on paper is the formal, legal right granted by Apple to make executive decisions. But power is influence. It's Cook's actual ability to steer the behavior of thousands of brilliant employees, tough suppliers, and global stakeholders. In short, authority is the title, but power is how he actually drives Apple's massive ecosystem. Through a centralized functional structure, at Apple, the CEO is the absolute center of decision making. Senior leaders from hardware, software, operations, and marketing all report directly to Tim Cook. This setup completely smashes corporate silos, giving him a 360-degree view of the company. Because when you're building a complex product like an iPhone or an Apple Watch, you need massive cross-department coordination. Tim Cook acts as the final filter to ensure everything perfectly aligns with Apple's brand and long-term vision. Now let's break down exactly where a leader's power comes from. First, we have positional power, which is tied directly to the job title. For Tim Cook, this takes three distinct forms. First, legitimate power. This is straight from the organizational chart. It gives him the official right to launch multi-billion-dollar products, steer massive investments, and dictate where Apple goes next. Second, reward power. Tim Cook controls the incentives. We're talking promotions, salary hikes, bonuses, and career growth. He uses these tools strategically to motivate high performance and demand excellence across all teams. Third is cohesive power. While it's more indirect, it's highly effective. Enforced through Apple's strict policies and infamous no-leaks culture, any violations action leads to swift disciplinary action or termination. It sounds intense, but it is exactly how Apple protects its competitive edge. But a title only gets you so far. Real leadership requires personal and knowledge power bases, and this is where Tim Cook truly shines. Point 4 is expert power. Long before he was a CEO, Tim Cook was a legendary master of supply chain management and operations. His irreplaceable skills in global efficiency give him incredible internal leverage. When he speaks about operations, people listen because he's the expert. Point 5 is informational power. This is fueled by Apple's culture of extreme secrecy because the organizational structure is so highly centralized. Tim Cook is one of the very few individuals who actually sees how all the secret moving projects connect behind the scenes. And finally, point 6, referent power. This is all about respect and admiration. Taking over after Steve Jobs was arguably one of the hardest handoffs in corporate history. By maintaining Apple's market dominance and protecting the brand's prestige, Tim Cook earned immense trust from stakeholders worldwide. Now, when you put thousands of hyper-ambitious, talented perfectionists under one roof, you naturally get organizational politics. But at Apple, politics isn't a dirty word, it's a competitive arena for innovation. Why does it exist? Because our resources, scarcity, and diverse objectives. Different functional groups like the hardware team versus the software team naturally have clashing priorities. Teams have to actively compete for budget, executive attention, and the ultimate prize, the chance to work on flagship projects like the next generation iPhone. To win these political battles, teams use two primary tactics: rational persuasion, which they bring hard data, logical arguments, and undeniable technical evidence to pitch their ideas; impression management, they showcase extreme discipline and high creativity, doing everything they can to catch the eye of top management. So, how does leadership stop all this political competing from tearing the company apart? It comes down to managing politics for innovation. Instead of shutting down disagreements or forcing fake harmony, Tim Cook actively encourages constructive debate over simple collaboration. The explicit goal here is to force competing department objectives, like a hardware limitation clashing with a software demand, to wrestle it out until the optimized product quality. Ultimately, Apple manages internal politics so that competition builds the company up rather than breaking it down. By channeling differences in ideas directly into innovation and better decision making, they turn what could be toxic political conflict into functional marketing leading success.
Next, I will explain the culture and conflict in Apple. Apple has a strong organizational culture that focuses on innovation, teamwork, quality, and customer satisfaction. This culture encourages employees to be creative and continuously improve their products and services. However, conflicts can still occur within the organization. The main causes of conflict include high work pressure, communication issues between departments, competition among employees, and external competition from other technology companies. To manage these conflicts, Apple uses effective communication, promotes teamwork, provides employee support programs, and follows legal and ethical practices. As a result, Apple benefits from increased innovation, higher productivity, and a strong brand reputation. However, the company also faces challenges such as employee stress and workplace pressure. Overall, Apple's strong culture and effective conflict management contribute to its long-term success.
Now, I will present the recommendation for Apple regarding team dynamic, power and politics, as well as culture and conflict resolutions. First, for team dynamic recommendation, Apple should strengthen cross-functional collaboration between departments. Apple should organize more team-building programs and leadership training to improve teamwork and employee relationships. Flexible working arrangement should also be expanded to reduce work stress and improve work-life balance. Next, for power and politics, Apple should encourage ethical leadership where managers use power fairly and transparently. Employees should also be given opportunities to share their ideas during meetings and discussions. In addition, the company should implement fair performance evaluations and promotion system to avoid unhealthy competitions and increase employee motivation. Last but not least, for culture and conflict resolutions, Apple should maintain its innovative culture while focusing more on employee welfare and mental health. Communication between departments should be strengthened through regular meetings and feedback sessions. Apple should also provide conflict management training and counseling support to help employees manage stress and workplace conflicts professionally.
My name is Adam Harik Benjalani. I will continue 6.0 conclusion. Point number 1 is Apple is a successful company because of its strong teamwork, leadership, organizational culture, and conflict management. Point number 2 is cross-functional collaboration helps employees create innovative and high-quality products. Point number 3 is effective leadership and the proper use of power support decision-making and organizational performance. Point number 4 is Apple culture promotes innovation, excellence, teamwork, confidential, and customer satisfaction. Point number 5 is although conflicts and workplace challenge exist, Apple manages them through communication, collaboration, and employee support program. The last point is point number 6. Overall, Apple demonstrates how effective organizational behavior contributes to long-term growth, innovation, and global business success.